If I told you that you could save your marriage by doing one thing just for 10 minutes every day, would you be interested? Well, I'm Leslie Dories, creator of the Hero Husband Project and founder of Foundations Coaching. And I learned a little trick a little while ago from a couple who has been married for 67 years and counting. So this is such a cool little thing. And it really, I'm a little exaggerating. It actually takes 20 minutes a day, but it starts with a 10-minute exercise. And it only, you need to have a piece of paper. That's all you need is one piece of paper, but you do need to do this every single day. Now, if you don't have time to hang on and listen to this, then I encourage you to get in touch and schedule a 20-minute discovery call where I will share this and other information about how you can have a great marriage. But Joe and Helen Hesketh are a couple who have been married for quite a while. And they went to a marriage encounter in 1974 because Helen was a little unhappy with the marriage. And Joe, when he heard it was going to be in the mountains, thought it'd be kind of a sexy thing to do. So he said, sure. So anyway, it didn't quite work out that way. But at this marriage encounter, they learned about this love letter exercise. And what it entailed was that you each took 10 minutes and you would start with a prayer or a meditation or something to kind of get yourself present. And then what you would do is you would maybe briefly talk, you write down what had happened to you that day, just kind of that. But the most important thing was to then write down what you really loved and admired about your partner that day. You had to be specific. You couldn't just say, oh, thank you for being my partner, or I love the way you look, but being very specific about something that happened that day that you really appreciated and admired and cared about. Then there would be a question or a topic that you could pick earlier in the day, and you would write about that topic. It could be a belief, it could be something that happened to you today, it could be an issue that you guys would want to talk about. It doesn't really matter what it was. It just something about that day. And then here's the kicker. You had to write down what your feelings about that, not judgments, not anything, just feelings, the actual feeling words, right? Like happy, upset, frustrated, thrilled, right? You get into the feeling words. And so you would do that for 10 minutes, and then you would share it with each other for the next 10 minutes, right? 20 minutes a day, right? 140 minutes a week. That's just over 2 hours, right? Just over 2 hours. But you can really, what it does in those 20 minutes is it focuses you in on your relationship, your partner, and how you feel about it. And it gets you guys to share. So whether you could be talking about issues, you could be talking about your sex life, you could be talking about something that happened at work. You could get, there are lots of cards out there. John Gottman has some conversation cards that you can get that you can just pick a card and say, this is what's going to be the topic for tonight. But Joe told me this wonderful story that actually, when he shared it with me, it was like, oh, knife in the heart, because what he was challenged to do, or what all the couples at this marriage encounter were challenged to do, that if you didn't do this, if you did not make time in your day to do this, then Joe said we had to write a note, and in the note he had to put it on Helen's pillow, and in the note it would be, I'm sorry, sweetheart, I didn't have 10 minutes for you today. Now, if that strikes you the way it strikes me, it's like, really? You don't have 10 minutes for your partner, for your marriage? Really? Now, to tell you about this, I told you this marriage encounter that they went to was in 1974. They have been doing this exercise every day for 47 years, right? So I challenge you to try this exercise And I also challenge you to see if you can beat Helen and Joe. Now, I'm going to tell you, yes, it takes time. It takes a little bit of practice. But as they told me, it changed everything about their marriage. And, if you work out every day, if you go by Starbucks and grab a cup of coffee, we're talking 20 minutes a day. And it can, as I said, it changed their marriage, and it can change your marriage. But you've got to be willing to do it, right? And and we know that doing things like expressing gratitude, it's just what you are grateful to your marriage and your partner. It counterbalances that many of us so focused on what our partner, that we forget to not just identify, but also share the things that this wonderful story with me that they were on an airplane and they were doing this. And the topic was, what is the most precious thing that you have ever received in your life? You want to know what Helen's answer was? It was her wedding ring. Joe has no recollection of what he wrote that day, but they were there. He says that they were there on the airplane just crying when she shared it with him. And if that doesn't get you, then I don't know, you must be made of stone. But, this is, and again, we're talking 20 minutes a day. We are not talking big parties or jewelry or, fancy anything. We're just talking about time. Okay. And when you consider that we all get 168 hours a week, to look for just a little over 2 hours to spend on your marriage, I don't think is asking too much. Okay. So, but if you find yourself struggling, or you think you might struggle, and if listening to this, you can't come up with some things that you admire about your partner, or there's a resistance to spending 20 minutes a day working on your marriage, then I truly invite you to get in touch with me and take advantage of a 20-minute discovery call where we'll figure out what's going on and how and what's getting in the way of you really committing to your marriage. So you can put a comment down below. I would love to hear your reactions to Joe and Helen's story. They're the cutest couple you could possibly imagine. And, they've been married a while, and I'm not sure many of us are going to be able to beat their longevity, but you sure can match their commitment and their happiness. So again, put a comment down below, or you can send me an email at Lesli at Foundations Coaching NC. That's FOUNDATIONS coaching, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie.com. You could direct message me, but you know what? Your marriage is worth it. You're worth it. Okay. So until next week, stay loving.